Check us out to hear the latest on life in the volunteer state. Yvonnca and her guests discuss everything from life, love, and business with a Tennessee flair.
It's a Tennessee thing.
Always relatable, always relevant, and always a good time. This is Talking Tennessee, and now your host, Yvonnca.
This episode is brought to you by Turning Knox Rental, your go-to for event rental services. We have selfie machines, 360 photo machines, and food servicing machines that you can rent out to give your parties the best experience possible. Get the TKR experience with Turning Knox Rental. You can find us at www.turningknoxrental.com.
Welcome back to Talking Tennessee with Yvonnca. I am your host, and I am here with a good friend of mine, Vice Chancellor Frank Cuevas from Student Life at the University of Tennessee. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
Well, he said you can be the author of your own story, and I need him to explain this because I think he's going to educate us all.
Okay. I think that so many times we try to figure out how to fit in and do other things or to conform. The reality is only you can define who you are. And thinking about it, and it takes a little bit of self-confidence to get there, right? I just wasn't born that way. You have to over time, you do things, you step out a little bit and say, I think I can try this. I'm going to give it a try. And
it's like taking a risk.
Right. You take a look, and I'm not a huge risk taker, but I think if you step forward and say, I'm going to try this, if it doesn't work, okay, but I learn from it and I move on.
Yes.
But if I take that lesson, it's becoming who I am, and I start slowly to author a story about who is Frank,
yes,
who is Yvonnca,
yes,
and what are the things that we've learned in our journey on life about who we are as people. And that to me is what I talk about. Be the author of your own story is that taking what you know about yourself and then applying it and then testing
and build from it.
And then really building up from it. And I says, what are your goals? What are your dreams? And I used to joke around with my kids, tell me your hopes, your dreams, your passions or something like that. And then, God.
And they're like, what?
And I would joke with them, and I said, or their friends would come on, tell me about your hopes and your dreams. and I said, I'm joking. But I think we always have to be in a place where we start thinking about who do we want to be and how does that create your story?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, that's about that. And I like humor in the workplace, so I come in humor in the workplace. I like that. We joke around, but I think it's time to get serious. We get serious. But it's a part of who I am anyway. So why would I want to not bring that?
And why would you not want the world to see who you are? Truly, authentically, who are you? And I think that the quicker you search within yourself and figure out who am I today, that doesn't mean you're going to be that tomorrow.
Exactly.
You're going to grow and find your way. And, I know what I was like at 20 versus in my 50s, that type thing. I don't want to be what I was in my 20s.
Absolutely.
I was not confident. I was, self-centered like no other and thought it was all supposed to be about me, because when you're in your 20s, you make it that way. But when the older you get and the more people you get around you, it helps you to realize you don't have to be that way, and you can be all you can be, but at the same time, you don't have to be self-centered. You don't have to be the, I call it the lights, camera, action type person. It's just do the work and find out who you are in the job that you're in. What qualities do you believe defines the impactful for leaders to follow?
I think you need to be a good listener. I think you need to be a good collaborator. I think you need to be a good advocate. And I think you need to be caring and supportive. Because I'm in the people business.
Right. You are.
So if I'm going to try to help our students navigate their experiences in college, I got to be able to form a relationship. I may not know every single student by name, by title, or what have you. But
he knows his students.
But I always like to ask a student, tell me where home is. Tell me about who you are. Where's home? Because home could be any number of places. And tell me a little bit about what's that like. Tell me about your experiences here. How can we make it better for you? Because we want
the college experience to be the best.
To be the best for them. So I think those, to me, those qualities, and we can't do it ourselves. We have to partner with other people on campus, in the community, because collectively together
and come together
and says, this is what we want. We want you to thrive.
How do you balance like leading one of the largest divisions and making students feel well about themselves at the same time remembering yourself, not getting so caught up that you forget about yourself? How do you balance that?
Well, I've been very fortunate. You hire good people. You get out of you let them do their job and get out of their way.
Yes.
So really, like, empower them to do that, do the work that you hired them to do. That's the first thing. The other thing is, it's important for me to get out of my office and to be out where our students. If I'm the Vice Chancellor for Student Life, I need to be where students are.
And you're always out.
And there are days, it is trying and long, but there are days, but I'm out because I want to be with this, hear about their experiences, to get to know them, to make a connection. At the same time, knowing that, I talk to our staff all the time because we support students and we help them and we connect them. Also take time to recharge. We cannot help others if we can't not taking care of self.
Yes.
So that was the message I delivered this morning where our award ceremony is like, we're in that season of the year where summer might slow down a little bit. So go ahead and take the time off. Take your vacation. You earned it.
Yes.
And recharge, because
spend time with your family.
Spend time with the people you love.
Yes. And eat some great food.
Exactly. Oh yeah, eat some really good food.
Eat some great food.
But spend that time and travel, do this, whatever.
Because you have to have a balance.
And find that balance. Now, there are days where I'm better at it than other days. I think that's just
I think it's a work in progress.
I tell people, when I hear work-life balance, there is no recipe that's work-life balance looks so different for everyone. It's what works for you.
Yes,
and make
I agree.
It work for you, but don't lose sight of the fact that there are other greater things that are equally as important, or more important in my opinion, about creating that. So take care of self.
Take care of yourself and know your limits. I think the biggest thing is that we want to, fulfill all of the different things in our positions and that type of thing.
Absolutely.
But sometimes you have to realize is that it takes time, and it's not today. If it's not today, it may be tomorrow. But you have to realize you have to have a balance, because if you don't have a balance, you'll crash, burn.
That's right.
Yeah, that type of thing, or you'll get burnt out. And I think a lot of people, especially in, with student life, you're dealing with so many different emotions. You're dealing with so many different things that students go through personally and in at school and out of school. I think that you have to take out the time. I bet you Kathy wants you to take out the time.
And I would want to spend
that
time.
type of thing. But you have to know your limits. So tell me this. Well, no, let me say this first. As I was researching you and getting prepared for this interview, I saw a quote from Chancellor Landes describing you as collaborative, compassionate, thoughtful in your leadership. So let me ask you this. How do you intentionally lead with compassion while still making difficult decisions?
I think for me, it's about getting as much information as possible about, and never losing sight of the fact that if I wait, one of my top strengths is I'm deliberative. It's one of my top 5 strengths. Okay. I tell you, we're strength campus, so context is always important to me. Knowing how things understand, knowing where we were, where we've been, where we're going.
Right.
Okay. But also, in doing that, within my other top 5 is deliberative, and being intentional around when a decision is to be made. What information do I have?
Right.
And getting people, calling on the people who may have other information that I know that I need to
And I know you make hard decisions when you make hard decisions that really may not feel good at the time.
And there are those decisions, and at the end of the day, I feel for me it's about I made the best decision possible. The decision was hard, but it's based on the information that I have at that moment, and reconciling that is based on what I have. This is the best decision. And I always argue, if I made it in the best interest of our students,
it's going to win.
It's going to win.
It's going to win.
So for me, it's being attentive to that, being very deliberative about it, gathering information, testing and looking and asking people. If you got good people work for you, they're not afraid to whisper in your ear and saying, "Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Think about this. Let's talk about this. Have you thought about all those things?" And that's the kind of thing I like to surround myself around people who will do that
and will tell you the truth,
who break it down and get real.
Yes,
and it helps me make a better decision. People may not always like the decision, but again, if I feel
if I
did it in the right reasons and I lay out the why, okay.
And you just have to lie in that and just trust that God is going to lead you, and they will see in the long run it was the best decision,
absolutely.
At the time. So I want to ask this question. What is it like, as a minority? I'm a minority, you're a minority. What is it like to be in leadership and just leading and teaching how to not allow that to affect you?
Sometimes you have to think. Sometimes you have a moment you're like, "Wow, you're the first."
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Okay," thinking about
exactly.
But for me, you got to find. I always feel like you have to find an outlet to be able to talk to peers and colleagues. I can pick up the phone and call some friends who are in similar roles and have great relationships with, and say, "Tell me about your experience," or this is my day. What's your day like? And because again, that helps you build to put into context. Context is important to me. It says, all right, understanding my own context in the bigger context of where we are. So it's about understanding that and about reaching out when I need to. Because again, I go back to, I'm the author of my own story.
Exactly.
So therefore, I'm going to author my own story. And I'm not worried about all the other stuff.
And the biggest thing as a minority, in my mind, I'm equal.
Yeah.
So and I operate that way. So people will say, well, how do you get to that? You just change your way of thinking. And not saying that things don't happen. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that as a minority, I set a goal. I'm going to win. At all costs, as long as God is leading me, I'm going to win when He wants me to win.
Right.
And I never allow being a minority to be a crutch for me.
That's right.
Okay? It's just, I'm just Yvonnca, and I'm going to win when God wants me to win. Do you agree with that?
I agree. I once did a video, and it's funny that we did that to welcome students, and I said, what should students call you? I said, Frank, just Frank. So it's funny because that whole year, I'm driving around campus and going in a golf cart and different events, and you hear people, students were like, "That's Frank," and that's Frank. And it's funny because the reality is, to your point, I'm Frank.
Yes.
I come to work every day. I'm here to support you. And you can tell me about your good day, your bad day, or you just want to say, "Hey, Frank."
But see, I think that's what makes students gravitate to you, because yes, they know you're Vice Chancellor, okay? They know your title, but you operate in a humble way, and you allow them to realize that you're human just like they are. And so when you say, "Okay, I'm Frank," and I was telling Frank on off camera that what keeps me humble is to remember the most important thing that God made me was Yvonnca.
That's right.
Okay, the titles came, over time, but I was Yvonnca first, and that's what keeps me grounded.
Absolutely.
Do you feel the same way?
I feel the same way. I am who I am. These other things will come, and I've been blessed with those opportunities, and that's great.
So, looking back at your journey from Florida State and being the Vice Chancellor at the University of Tennessee, what would tell you what is the biggest thing that sticks out at the University of Tennessee that says, I keep coming back for more?
I love the people that I work with. I love our students. I love what we're building and continue to build.
Okay.
That's what motivates me, because I tell people all the time, we are delivering on this promise of making the experience for you that's unlike no other place you can go. You're gonna get a good education in a number of different places. But you know what's gonna say our difference makers? You're gonna get a really, really good unparalleled student experience, that you're gonna understand that people care for you. This is your home, that you can find your community, and that truly Rocky Top is home sweet home. I think we're building that something special, and that's what drives me coming back and says,
yes,
we're on a roll. We're gonna keep rolling until they tell us we can't anymore.
I love the University of Tennessee for so many reasons, not just because of our business. It's so much deeper than that. It's because I can see what you're building, and it's like, you ever heard of drinking the Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
Okay, we drink the orange Kool-Aid. Okay, at the University.
And we have
of
literally
Tennessee.
had it.
Yeah, we drink the orange Kool-Aid, and we just believe in the institution, and we believe what they're building. And I just thank God that we, as my family, the Landes family, has had the opportunity just to grow, not just in business, but just for David to be able to bring back a business to
the university.
To the University of Tennessee, where his beginning started. I don't think people think about that. I'm like, he really got to bring back something. And my viewers do know, my father-in-law taught for 30 years at the University of Tennessee. You know, he's so proud of that the first thing we thought about when we opened this business was, we wanted to give something to the University of Tennessee that was great and be a part of something.
Right,
That was the biggest
and
thing.
this is where I think you've helped us. You've helped us to elevate the experience and the engagement.
Thank
because you bring these things that help. Everybody has a party, or
Everybody,
right?
yes.
But you take it to help us take it to another level.
Another level.
And that I feel like it's that experience and engagement that helps complement what we're trying to do.
Yes.
About elevating that experience for our students, that tells that is, this is different.
Yes.
This is different. I have the opportunity to work with really good people that are committed to that are creative and say
Yes.
they're much more creative than I am, but are saying, you know, we're on board. We're going to do this. And then when we partner with someone who's coming from the work that you do, and come in and say, we can help you alongside.
And we can elevate it.
And we can elevate it.
And give an experience.
It's a win-win.
It is. And I thank you so much for giving Turner Knox the opportunity to elevate your events and be a part of something and see students grow and laugh and joke and they come together and they take a picture and they're so excited. They get on 360 and they're just having a great time and they forget about any problem they have. That's our whole thing.
That's right.
Is when we come in, we want everybody to forget whatever is going on in their life for this moment. You're going to get elevated and you're going to win at the highest regard on Rocky Top.
Right. There's a sense of joy in that moment.
Sense of joy. So I thank you. So as we end this, what is next for Vice Chancellor Frank Cuevas, and what is next for Frank Cuevas personally?
Well, I mentioned earlier what's next is, for me, it's continuing to do the work and working with the great people that are around me to really think and improve on making it even better. I always say, that's great that we had 22,000 students engaged with this past year. Let's go for 25 next year.
Let's go for
26. Why can't we?
Let's raise that number.
Let's raise that bar. Keep going more, that we're connecting and engaging and continue to do that. And do it in a way that doesn't tire us all, but
Yes.
do it in a way that we can still be out there and still enjoy the work that we do. Because I really do. I really
enjoy it.
I never complain about coming to work.
Mm-hmm. I believe it, because your spirit and just how you are, like I told you, you're the same. It doesn't matter who's in the room. It doesn't matter what he's going through. You always greet me with a smile. You always say, thank you for everything you do. I mean, that says a lot. And he's on one of the biggest campuses in the country, most sought out campuses in the country.
That's right.
And leads the student life like his eyes are closed. Because you know why? His eyes are closed and he knows what the assignment is. And the assignment is to elevate students' life, at the same time, make a mark on this world.
That's right. And what's next for me is vacation very soon.
It's a vacation very soon. Him and Kathy going on vacation.
I'm so looking forward. It's a good time to recharge and come back so I can hit the ground running when we get back in August and help our students out.
Well, I thank you so much for sitting down with me. And the door is always open if there's ever a time that you want to come back. I've enjoyed this conversation. So the conversation is always open for you to come back and share about student life and what's next for Frank.
Take care. Thank you.
Yes. I hope you all have enjoyed this 2-part segment of Vice Chancellor Frank Cuevas of Student Life at the University of Tennessee. And I have a feeling he'll be back, and he'll be back real soon. I would love to have him on a panel. Just tune in. Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to Talkin' Tennessee with Yvonnca. Watch out for our weekly episodes from the First Family of Real Estate and check us out on the web, www.yvoncasalesrealestate.com. See our videos on Yvonca's YouTube channel or find us on Facebook under Yvonnca Landes and Twitter @Yvonnca Landes. And don't forget to tell a friend about us. Until next time, Yvonnca signing off.